Hey everyone, I'm Rachel Montgomery, and 2 weekends ago, my entire life exploded at my sister's wedding in the most spectacular, karma-filled way possible. Let me set the scene for you. Picture this: a lavish garden wedding, 300 guests dressed to the nines, champagne flowing like water, and a bride who thought she could publicly humiliate me and get away with it. Spoiler alert, she couldn't, but I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm 32 years old, a successful corporate lawyer at one of Manhattan's top firms. I worked my absolute tail off to get where I am. 80-hour weeks, sacrificing relationships, missing family events, all of it. 5 years ago, I finally achieved my dream and bought a stunning penthouse in Tribeca. Floor-to-ceiling windows, a terrace overlooking the Hudson River, marble everything. It cost me $3.2 million, and every single penny came from my own sweat and tears. My younger sister, Victoria, is 28. She's always been the golden child, the pretty one, the charming one, the one who could do no wrong in our parents' eyes. While I was grinding through law school, Victoria was finding herself through a series of failed business ventures funded entirely by mom and dad. A boutique that closed in 6 months, a jewelry line that never launched, an Instagram influencer career that peaked at 12,000 followers. But Victoria had one talent I'll give her credit for. She knew how to marry rich. Enter Gregory Hartwell, III, heir to a pharmaceutical fortune, moderately handsome, and completely under Victoria's spell. When they got engaged last year, you'd think she'd won the lottery. And honestly, she kind of had. Now, if you're already Team Victoria, go ahead and skip this story. Better yet, don't hit that subscribe button because you won't like where this is going. This is a story about justice, and if you can't handle watching entitled people get what they deserve, this isn't for you. The trouble started 3 months before the wedding. Victoria called me one evening, her voice dripping with that saccharine sweetness she uses when she wants something. "Rachel, my favorite sister," she cooed. "I'm your only sister, Vic. What do you want?" "So, Gregory and I have been looking at places to live after the wedding, and we just can't find anything that feels right. Everything is either too small or too far from the city or just not us, you know." I had a sinking feeling in my stomach. "Okay." "Well, we were thinking, your penthouse is absolutely perfect. And you're always working anyway, you barely use it. What if we bought it from you? Gregory's willing to pay fair market value." I took a deep breath. "Victoria, I'm not selling my home. I love that penthouse. I worked incredibly hard for it." Her tone shifted instantly. "You're being selfish. This is my wedding, Rachel. Can't you do this one thing for me?" "Find another penthouse, Vic. Manhattan is full of them." She hung up on me. Over the next few weeks, the pressure campaign began. My mother called. "Rachel, honey, would it kill you to help your sister? She's getting married." My father chimed in. "You know Victoria has her heart set on that place. Can't you just consider it?" Even my aunt messaged me on Facebook. But I held firm. The penthouse was mine. I'd earned it. End of story. Or so I thought. The wedding day arrived, a gorgeous Saturday in May. The venue was the Ashford Estate in Westchester, a sprawling property with manicured gardens and a mansion that looked like it belonged in a Jane Austen novel. I wore an elegant navy blue dress, kept my head high, and prepared myself for what I knew would be a day of family tension. The ceremony was beautiful, I'll admit. Victoria looked stunning in her custom Vera Wang gown. Gregory seemed genuinely smitten. I stood with the other guests, clapped at the appropriate moments, and thought maybe, just maybe, we could get through this day without drama. I was so wrong. The reception was where everything went nuclear. I was seated at a table with some of Gregory's college friends, making polite conversation, when Victoria approached the microphone for what I assumed would be a typical bride's thank you speech. "I want to thank everyone for being here on the most important day of my life," she began, her smile radiant. "Your love and support mean everything to Gregory and me." Then her eyes found mine across the room, and that smile turned predatory. "You know, planning a wedding really shows you who your true family is. Most of you went out of your way to help us, to support us, to celebrate with us." She paused dramatically. "But some people are so selfish, so self-centered, that they can't even do one simple thing to help their own sister. My blood ran cold. She couldn't. My sister Rachel, Victoria continued, her voice now laced with venom, has a penthouse in Manhattan, a beautiful penthouse that she barely uses because she's married to her job. Gregory and I asked, nicely, if we could purchase it from her. We offered full market value. We offered to make the transition easy, but she refused. She refused to help her own sister on her wedding day. The room fell silent. 300 pairs of eyes turned to stare at me. I felt my face burning with humiliation and rage. If you're thinking Victoria is justified right now, seriously, click away. And definitely don't subscribe because you're going to hate what happens next. I stood up slowly, my hands shaking. Victoria, this isn't the time or place. Sit down, she shrieked, abandoning all pretense of composure. You've always been jealous of me. You've always thought you were better than me just because you have some fancy job and some fancy apartment. She started walking toward me, and I could see the fury in her eyes. Our mother was half standing, looking horrified. Gregory looked like he wanted to disappear. Victoria reached me and grabbed my arm. You're a selfish, bitter. Let go of me, I said firmly. You don't deserve that penthouse. You don't deserve anything. And then she did it. In front of 300 guests, my sister pulled back her hand and slapped me across the face. Hard. The sound echoed through the silent room like a gunshot. My cheek burned. Tears sprang to my eyes, but I refused to let them fall. The room erupted in gasps and murmurs. You're pathetic, Victoria hissed. You're going to die alone in that apartment with nothing but your law books to keep you company. I stood there, frozen, as she stormed away, her wedding dress trailing behind her like a symbol of her spoiled, entitled life. Gregory rushed after her. My mother looked mortified but didn't come to me. Of course she didn't. My father stared at his plate. I grabbed my clutch and walked out of that reception with my head held high, even though I was dying inside. I sat in my car in the parking lot for 20 minutes, trying to process what had just happened. My phone buzzed with texts from the few relatives who actually cared. But one message caught my attention, a number I didn't recognize. Ms. Montgomery, this is Judge Patricia Caldwell. I was a guest at the wedding. I witnessed what happened. Please call me on Monday. I think we need to talk. Judge Patricia Caldwell. I knew that name. She was a highly respected family court judge in Manhattan, known for her no-nonsense approach and her advocacy for justice. She was also, apparently, a friend of Gregory's parents. I drove home in a daze, spent the rest of the weekend alternating between rage and hurt, and on Monday morning, I called the number. Ms. Montgomery, Judge Caldwell's warm voice answered. Thank you for calling. I want you to know that what I witnessed on Saturday was absolutely unacceptable. Your sister committed assault in front of 300 witnesses, including myself and 2 other attorneys who were present. I don't want to press charges against my sister on her wedding day, I said quietly. I understand, but I want you to know something else. What your sister did revealed a pattern of behavior. After you left, I spoke with several family members, including your aunt. I learned about the months of harassment, the pressure campaign, the attempts to coerce you into selling your property. I hadn't expected this. Judge Caldwell continued. I also spoke briefly with Gregory Hartwell SR. He was mortified by Victoria's behavior. Apparently, he had no idea about any of this. Victoria told him you offered to sell the penthouse and then backed out at the last minute. That's completely false. I know, and now so does he. She paused. Ms. Montgomery, I want to offer you some advice. Document everything. Every text, every email, every voicemail from your sister and anyone acting on her behalf. If she continues to harass you, and I suspect she will, you'll need it. She was right. Victoria called me that Tuesday, screaming about how I'd ruined her wedding by making a scene. I recorded the call. She sent dozens of texts calling me every name in the book. I saved them all. My mother called to say I should apologize to Victoria for provoking her. I recorded that too. Then came the real surprise. Gregory called me personally. Rachel, I'm so sorry. I had no idea Victoria had been harassing you. My father told me what Judge Caldwell said, and I did some digging. I found texts on Victoria's phone. He sighed heavily. She's been lying to me. About you, about the Penthouse situation, about a lot of things. Gregory, I'm sorry. Don't be. I'm the one who should have seen through this sooner. We're getting the marriage annulled. I almost dropped my phone. What? My lawyer is already on it. What she did at the wedding, the lies, the manipulation. I can't build a life with someone like that. Judge Caldwell has also agreed to provide a witness statement about the assault if needed. Within 2 weeks, Gregory had filed for annulment, citing fraud and deception. Victoria had signed a prenuptial agreement that included a clause about honesty during the engagement period. Her lies about me, about our family situation, about her own intentions, all of it violated the agreement. She got nothing. No settlement, no penthouse, no pharmaceutical fortune. And if you're sad for Victoria right now, please don't subscribe. Go watch something else. This channel is for people who believe in consequences. But the karma wasn't finished. Victoria's wedding had been featured in a regional luxury magazine, photos, interviews, the works. But after the annulment made local news, thank you, gossip columnists, the magazine ran a follow-up piece. From dream wedding to divorce, the Tribeca Penthouse scandal. They included anonymous accounts from wedding guests describing Victoria's shocking outburst and assault. Victoria's reputation was destroyed. Her Instagram following dropped to 8,000. The few clients she had for her latest business venture, wedding planning, ironically, all canceled. My parents, finally seeing the full picture, apologized to me. Turned out Victoria had been lying to them too, telling them I'd promised her the penthouse, and then cruelly changed my mind. As for me, I'm still in my beautiful Tribeca penthouse, and I've never loved it more. I got a promotion at work 3 months after the wedding. I started dating a wonderful man I met at a legal conference. Life is genuinely good. Last week, I ran into Victoria at our cousin's birthday party. She looked at me with such hatred, but she didn't say a word. She couldn't, because now everyone knows exactly who she is. Judge Caldwell and I have become friends, actually. She told me something that stuck with me. People who behave terribly in public rarely do it for the first time in public. That was the culmination of years of getting away with entitlement. She was right. Victoria had always been this person. But that slap, that one moment of losing control in front of 300 people, including a judge, finally held up a mirror that she couldn't look away from. So that's my story. 2 weekends ago, my sister slapped me at her wedding and thought she'd won. Instead, she lost everything, and I gained the peace of knowing I never have to doubt my worth again. If you made it this far and you're Team Rachel, smash that subscribe button. Drop a comment telling me if you think Victoria got what she deserved, and hit the notification bell because, trust me, I have more stories about entitled family members getting exactly what's coming to them. And if you're still